If you're planning to travel the world, it's important to take precautions to ensure your safety. Unfortunately, there are some places in the world that are too dangerous for travelers to visit. From war-torn countries to regions with high crime rates, these places should be avoided at all costs. In this blog post, we'll discuss the top 10 most dangerous locations in the world and why you should avoid them. So, if you want to stay safe while traveling, make sure to read through this post and learn about the most dangerous places you should avoid. Number 10. Afghanistan. The Taliban and other extremist groups are active in the region, with terrorist attacks and bombings occurring regularly. Afghanistan also faces threats from kidnappings and robberies, especially in areas outside of the main cities. Traveling alone or in small groups is highly discouraged. The Afghan government has taken steps to improve security, but it still remains a dangerous place to visit. The U.S. Department of State has warned travelers to avoid all non-essential travel to Afghanistan due to the threat of terrorism, criminal activity, and civil unrest. If you must travel to Afghanistan, it's best to stick to the major cities and be extra cautious at all times. Number 9. Venezuela. Located in South America, Venezuela is one of the most dangerous places in the world. It is plagued by political unrest, poverty, and crime. According to Global Peace Index, Venezuela has been ranked as the second most dangerous country in the world since 2018. The country's economy has been in a state of crisis for years. This has caused people to turn to criminal activities and the government to use heavy-handed tactics in an effort to control the population. The extreme poverty has led to a rise in violent crime and gang activity in many parts of the country. Kidnapping is also rampant in Venezuela, with both tourists and locals targeted by criminal gangs. Carjackings are also common and travelers are advised to stay off the roads after dark. Additionally, it is dangerous for tourists to visit certain areas, as there are armed militias that operate outside the law and have been known to attack and kidnap people. Number 8. Nigeria. Violence from militant groups such as Boko Haram is a major problem in Nigeria. They have caused hundreds of deaths over the years and show no signs of slowing down. In addition, criminal gangs are known to use violence and robbery to obtain money or other goods from unsuspecting tourists. Kidnapping is another major issue in Nigeria. The number of kidnappings has been on the rise since 2013, and it remains a serious problem. Tourists who are traveling alone or in small groups are particularly at risk. Many kidnappers demand ransom payments for the release of their victims. It's important to note that even though Nigeria is a relatively safe country, it is still advisable to avoid certain areas due to the violence and political unrest. If you plan on traveling to Nigeria, it's best to stay in cities or tourist locations where there are more security measures in place. It is also advised to research the current situation in the country before visiting. Number 7. Somalia. Situated in the Horn of Africa, Somalia is one of the most dangerous places in the world to visit. The country has been in a state of civil war since 1991, resulting in lawlessness, poverty, and rampant violence. In recent years, the presence of terrorist organizations such as Al-Shabaab has made Somalia even more volatile and unstable. As a result, the country has been deemed off-limits for tourists by most governments. The lack of an effective government has led to rampant crime, including piracy, kidnapping, and armed robbery. In addition to the risk of violent attacks, travelers should also be aware of the frequent power outages, poor infrastructure, and the potential of being infected with a waterborne illness due to a lack of sanitation. Overall, while there are still some areas of Somalia that are relatively safe, it is not recommended to travel there due to the high levels of danger posed by political instability, terrorism, and crime. Number 6. Iraq. Situated in the Middle East, Iraq has been plagued by a long history of war and conflict. In recent years, the country has faced further unrest due to ISIS, making it one of the most dangerous locations in the world. With a rise in kidnappings, shootings, and bombings, the risk of traveling to Iraq is high. Civilians are especially vulnerable to violence related to political and religious tensions. With a high rate of unemployment and a lack of basic services, Iraq is not an ideal destination for tourists. The Iraqi government is in a fragile state, with power sharing between Sunni, Shiite, and Kurdish factions causing instability. International travelers are advised to avoid any unnecessary travel to Iraq due to the possibility of being exposed to dangerous situations. For the cheapest flight booking, hotels, and taxi booking, must visit our website universetravels.net. Also, we share more popular destinations there. Link is given description below. Number 5. Libya. The country is also home to Islamic State militants and other extremist groups who are known to target civilians. In addition, due to the ongoing civil war, the infrastructure in Libya is in ruins. This makes navigating the country difficult and dangerous. It's important to note that the security situation in Libya can change quickly, and travelers should stay abreast of any changes. Number 4. Syria. The ongoing conflict in Syria has led to hundreds of thousands of deaths, and the United Nations estimates that 6.6 million people have been displaced within the country, while more than 5.5 million have been forced to seek refuge abroad. Furthermore, violence has also been perpetrated by all parties involved in the conflict, including the Syrian government, rebel forces, and foreign militaries. As a result, Syria is not a safe place for tourists or travelers. There have been multiple reports of kidnappings and attacks on foreigners in the country, and the U.S. State Department advises citizens to avoid all travel to Syria due to the risks posed by terrorism and other forms of violence. Number 3. Congo. Situated in the heart of Central Africa, Congo is a highly unstable nation that is known for its high levels of violence. Armed conflicts are common in the region, and many parts of the country remain unsafe for travel. The risk of getting caught up in an armed conflict is particularly high in the eastern part of the country, where rebel groups have been active for years. In addition to armed conflict, the Congo is home to a wide range of diseases, including Ebola. In recent years, outbreaks of the deadly virus have killed thousands of people in the region. This makes the Congo one of the most dangerous places to travel in the world. Number 2. Yemen. Since the outbreak of the Civil War, there have been numerous cases of kidnappings, hostage-takings, and bombings throughout Yemen. The risks posed by the ongoing conflict make this one of the most hazardous locations in the world. It is strongly advised to avoid all non-essential travel to Yemen, as there is a high risk of being exposed to violence. If you are planning to travel to Yemen, it is best to consult with your local embassy beforehand for safety advice and guidance. Number 1. Skeleton Coast, Namibia. Absolutely stark and inhabited, Skeleton Coast is located literally where the Earth ends. The expansive coast stretches 500 kilometers between the old German colonial town of Swakopmund and the Angolan border. The name itself suggests the formidable. It is perhaps derived from the animal bones that are scattered across expansive strands and a large number of ships that wrecked here over the centuries. Adventure tour operators in Swakopmund organize day trips along the southern part of the Skeleton Coast. Predators wander the shore. So tell us which of the top 10 places caught your attention today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell to see more attractive destinations all over the world.